Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our sponsor, Winner Affiliates. The Winner Affiliates program is a leading international promoter of online games and card rooms. What really makes Winner Affiliates an incredible program is that their team is compiled of seasoned professionals that know the industry. As an affiliate, you'll be connected with a dedicated affiliate manager that will hook you up with the best exclusive offers to fit your traffic needs. While you can, catch the summer promotion that Winner Affiliates has right now, where all new affiliates can receive up to an 80% rev share. Just visit the Winner Affiliates listing in the CAP directory and learn more and sign up today. Thank you again to our sponsor, Winner Affiliates, for making this CAP video interview possible.
Hey guys, it's Warren Jolly with Casino Affiliate Programs, and you're watching another one of our video interviews where we profile some of the most influential people in the iGaming industry. I personally am really excited for today's guest, who happens to be Karim Wilkins, the co-founder and CEO of Rake the largest and most reputable Rake Back affiliate in the poker space. Karim's company has enabled players to receive over $125 million in Rake Back in cash since Rake was founded. He also happens to be a rather funny fellow, but I'll let everyone judge that themselves. Today's interview is going to provide insight into the world of one of the most successful affiliates to ever enter the iGaming scene. So my suggestion to everyone is pay attention and listen really closely. Karim, thanks for your time today. Let's give our audience a little bit of insight into the crazy world of Karim Wilkins and what got you into the iGaming industry.
Hey Warren, thanks for giving me the time. Well, my background's based in investment banking. I came from 10 years of investment banking and found myself at the back end of a couple of redundancies and from the banking industry. And while I was on leave at one point, a friend of mine invited me to come and play poker. Now, I'd never played before, so I went online and taught myself. And about 3 months later, I played this live game. I was absolutely appalling. You knowing me, I got horrendously drunk and was all in pretty early and all out pretty quickly. So, but even when the game had finished, having spent 3 months playing online, I was, like most people, suddenly addicted to online poker. So I kept playing and I tried to make a living out of it, which if anyone's ever tried, they know exactly how hard it can be. It's you've got to be really motivated each morning to get up, play the game, and it's tough to know that you've got to meet the bills and everything like that. So you set yourself targets, how much you'll make in a day, how much you're prepared to lose, and of course you then sort of lose 4 times as much as you thought you were going to lose. So then you chase it, and it gets progressively worse. And one day while I was playing, some guy in a chat, which obviously is prohibited now, but was trying to sell me Rake Back, and he gave me all the spiel and he sent me a couple of emails about it. And I thought, well, he's not asking me for money here. He's offering to give me money. And so I asked him where his website was, and he didn't have one. And I thought to myself, well, you're not instilling a lot of trust necessarily. I mean, I want to go and visit something. I want to have a look at it, make sure it's real, la, la, la. So I thought I'll build a website. So I had no skills in the area. I went to Yahoo Site Builder and, literally drag and dropped a site into place. And, that was in December of 2004. It was a pretty ugly site. I think if you use those way back machines, you can go and have a look at it. And but there wasn't a lot else in that space at the time, and Google loved it, and we found ourselves highly ranked and probably one of the 3 original Rake Back sites, and that, that's pretty much how it started.
Great. So for our viewers who may not know, what is Rake Back and how does it work?
Well, when you play online poker, and even when you play live effectively, pretty much every hand that's played, mostly providing a flop is seen. The house rakes the hand. They take a cut out of all from every hand. This is obviously to pay for the overheads of providing the software, developing the software, and also obviously for them to make a profit as well. And from each person, I mean, the rake is taken from each pot. It's usually about up to 5%. It's capped at 3 units. So whether you're playing in dollars, euros, or pounds, it's usually three of those units. And each person who's playing in the hand, to make this easy, is said to have put in to the pot, the rake. So if the pot was say $60, 5% of the $60 is $3, and let's say there are 6 people playing at the table, then each of those people is said to have attributed 50 cents or 50 pence to the rake. And what happens is that as an affiliate, when you bring in a player to a poker room, obviously they can either pay you by CPA or by revenue share. So Rake Back affiliates are always on revenue share. And what happens is that we'll get paid for the lifetime of the player. And let's say we get paid 40%. What we do is, so for that 50 cents that player put in for that one hand, we would get paid 20 cents of that. But what Rake Back is, or what a Rake Back affiliate does, is take the 20 cents and say to the player, look, actually, I'm going to give you 30% of what you paid back. So I'm going to give you 15 cents back, and I'm going to keep 5 cents. And you do this for every hand to every player. And of course, the amounts differ sometimes. Sometimes the player's getting 35%. Sometimes, with Full Tilt's case, it used to be 27. And obviously, the player doesn't know exactly what commission you're taking as an affiliate. But the bigger you become, obviously, the higher commission rate you can get from the poker rooms. And what we did is that rake goes back to the player, and so the player is getting rake back, and it helps them to fund, their accounts. It keeps some people, helps them to break even each month, and it helps some people make a small profit on the month. And the player, the rooms are fine with it, and most of the rooms are fine with it. Obviously, there are some who don't see it that way, but because it keeps the players playing, and it acts as a loyalty tool. It's a retention device, really.
Great. So from an affiliate's perspective, you're giving the majority of your affiliate commission, back to the player to essentially encourage a higher volume of play, which your hope is at the end of the day, that higher volume of play makes up sort of for the percentage that you're giving back to your players. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, all we're doing is it's just, like I said, it's just another retention tool. It's a niche in the market that was found, that everybody was doing from day one. Even it's whether you give a tournament seed away, whether you give a cash bonus, a reload bonus, an iPod, an iPad, whatever you do, you're giving something back to the player in return for them being loyal to your site and playing. And this is just a cash element of doing that. So it's no different from those other retention tools.
So with Rake the Rake, why did you, I guess, primarily focus on Rake Back affiliation as your primary business model? Did you ever get into just straight up, promoting player bonuses and driving poker players the traditional way, or was Rake Back really the area where you chose to focus in, and why?
Well, I guess it sort of goes back to your initial question about how I got into the industry, really. I mean, I specifically myself can't remember how I found online poker. I would suspect that when I was invited to go and play a live game, I went online probably to search for online poker, or I think actually at the time I was playing with. I get the funny feeling I'm a bit of a prolific gambler, and I think I already had an account at Betfair, so I went to Betfair's poker site, started playing there. And when I got hit on it by the chat and discovered this Rake Back element to it, I didn't really know what else was out there. So I found this, this niche market, which I felt I could, develop. And I wasn't really aware from day one of what else existed. I didn't, come to the business thinking, right, I'm an affiliate in another area of the world of retail or something, and I want to, expand into gaming. How am I going to do it? I just, I fell into Rake Back straight away. And so it was only having done that initially and in subsequent months and years that I found out that there are other ways of doing this, whether it be just direct, sort of a la poker listings, or poker news and sites like that, who just drive traffic straight. But, I think we were with hindsight, I don't think that was a way we could necessarily have driven traffic to sites, because we were joining the game too late. We found a niche which we developed, but the other people were already doing the straightforward referral stuff, and I don't think we could have competed, or people today can really compete with some of the sites that have been established for 8-9 years.
Sounds like a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. No, I can't really say it was necessarily luck, but because I've always been a sort of serial entrepreneur as well, trying to find ways to work for myself and come up with ideas. So But that said, it was, I guess there is an element of luck to it.
Nice. So who are some of the main competitors in the rakeback space today?
I guess, going back right to day one, the original sort of three were ourselves, Rake Tracker, RakeRebate.net, and obviously, people have joined up since. Most have come and gone, to be honest with you, but there are some big players out there. Obviously, Poker Source, who at the time weren't really doing that sort of thing. They were just doing points for, coupons and tables and chips. Obviously, Poker Listings developed their own side of things, which is now Rake Brain, and obviously Poker Strategy have also dipped their toe into the market as well. So I'd say out there you've pretty much got those sort of 6 players, 3 or 4 other medium size, and then a real handful of individuals.
Okay. And so what methods do you deploy in terms of marketing to drive players? So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's always a tricky one, really. I mean, there's all sorts of things as SEO, email, pay-per-click, and stuff like that. And we've tried everything, to be honest with you. We've spent fortunes on SEO, not only with Rake Back, with other stuff that we've done. And it's difficult. I'm not a massive fan of SEO. I think that there's a lot more. There's a lot of companies out there who try to sell you that stuff now who don't really know what they're talking about. And, they've, I find that the sites that do well are the ones that have been around for longest anyway. I think that carries a massive weighting as far as the search engines are concerned. I'm not to say that, doing SEO work, we still employ, actually we have a third party who sort of advises us on SEO, and we tweak things here and there. So I'm not saying that SEO doesn't help. I just don't think, you should be throwing all your eggs in one basket, especially if you're sort of joining the game relatively late. Email marketing, yes, there's an element of that, but, even that's becoming a sort of, tired source. I mean, how many people these days are reading their emails? We're hearing a lot of people that's doing things like sending out text messages and stuff. We haven't tried that yet. It's something we're considering, but obviously it's an expensive method. And pay-per-click we never found really worked for us. I mean, it's been difficult. We've had Google AdWords, which has obviously just been for UK accounts, but the return on investment to those are just are ridiculous. So I would have thought that we employ all those elements that I've mentioned to a very small degree, or have tried and tested them, and they all work to a fraction, but none individually is that good. What I find works best is basically being having great customer service and getting your own players to refer other players. I think that's them spreading the word is your biggest marketing tool. If you can get one guy and you make him happy, obviously poker wise, then he'll go on to recommend maybe 2 friends. If they're satisfied, they'll go to do 2 more, and of course it snowballs from there really, and you can build your community and your player base that way. So I think focusing on the customer retention of your existing customers is the best marketing tool you have.
Okay, and I guess the question is, out of the new customers that you're driving from Rake the Rake, how are those customers coming to the site? So are you primarily driving those through organic search, just because of the age of the site, or how are you driving your new depositors today?
Look, Rake Back's a really a tricky one, because it's not a word that any new poker player will know from day one. They won't know what the rake is. Millions of them still have no idea what rake is. They probably won't even, half of them don't even notice the fact that every hand a little bit of cash is being taken off the table. So for people to find Rake Back from the day they think about going online, you just can't. It's not going to happen. So what happens is that people obviously then learn about it through friends. They read about it in poker forums. We've taken out adverts in magazines. We've put some stuff on television. For us, there's the holy grail out there that we still haven't found, and no other Rake Back affiliate has done, which is to try and work out how to educate the masses on what exactly Rake Back is. And if you can do that, you'll clear up. But it's just a case of word of mouth, really, and if you can find a niche advertising space somewhere to try and convince people that this is what they should be doing. They should definitely be signing up to rooms through affiliates who offer this service. Then you'll do well out of it. But it's a tricky one. So we rely a lot, like I said, on customer referrals, and also we're heavily involved in a few of the forums, and we make sure we buy advertising space there, and we post solutions to people's problems and help them with questions they've got.
And what are some of those forums?
Well, we mostly 2+2, to be honest with you. We've been on, we've done a few other forums in the past, whether it's pokerforums.org or, we've got our own forum now as well, which is slowly finding its feet. But no, predominantly 2+2.
Okay. So it sounds like for Rake Back, it's more about the outreach, you going out and educating the masses about it as best as you can. Obviously, you said you haven't found the Holy Grail yet, but it's not something that users really know about. So hence the search volume doesn't really allow you to build a big business off of it. So essentially, you've built a high quality product, and people enjoy the product and they tell others about it after you've kind of captured them through your broadcasting. Is that accurate?
I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thanks for clarifying that. So where do you see the future of the Rake Back market in both the U.S. and elsewhere?
I don't see, you're going to get sort of people sort of saying that Rake Back's coming to an end every other day, and to be honest with you, I don't see it, because I don't look at Rake Back as a just one unique thing. I don't. In some houses it's considered a dirty word, but as I said earlier on, it's just another retention tool. So it really doesn't matter what you want to call it. Whether it's a kickback, a reload, a live, whether you give people stuff back as live events or an iPad or anything like that. It's just a retention tool. So I don't see Rake Back going anywhere, to be honest with you. I think it's a lot of houses have taken it in-house. A lot of rooms have taken it in-house effectively, so having their own VIP programs. I mean, look at something like Stars. Stars has never actually said, we offer Rake Back, but their retention, their VIP program will give you, up to, gosh, no, they're saying 80% back if you hit the top tiers. So everyone does it anyway. The iPoker Network have their own VIP program, if anyone can actually decipher it on any given Sunday. But it all exists. So I think Rake Back's here to stay. It's healthy, and I think that as far as the US is concerned, I think it will be there'll be a really big rebirth as and when it goes legal there. Obviously you've still got Merge. Everleaf taking and Cake Network taking US players at the moment anyway. So, but I think that once the US comes back online, I think it will be a valued tool. And I don't think, as far as affiliates are concerned, there'll be any problem about the big houses, whoever they are, who get these licenses, not needing affiliates. I think there's been a lot of scaremongering about that as well. And I think that if you think about it, let's say you've got two big houses out of the state come out and get licenses, and one of them says we don't need affiliates, and the other one says, well, hold on a second, there's 100,000 guys out there, and who know what they're doing. They've been doing this for 10 years. If we employ them to help us get traffic, then they're going to have 10,000 people doing their SEO, doing their marketing, all for free, only getting paid once they've brought in the results and stuff like that. They're going to do exceptionally well compared to that other house that said, we don't need affiliates. So I think that, affiliates will still exist, and I think that there'll still be Rake Back plans, whether they be internal VIP programs or what, it'll still exist. So I think it's all healthy. The future's nice and rosy.
All right. So just touching briefly on the state of the U.S. online poker market, and I know you're kind of in the midst of this yourself. Can affiliates ever expect to get paid by chip leader or full tilt?
Yes, I was going to say that's a $64,000 question, but for us it's a slightly bigger question than that. I mean, we got hit massively by that. I mean, as far as existing cash on account and not having been paid to us is concerned. I mean, more at I'd be fair to actually more at chip leader than at tilt. Tilt were very good. When it all went wrong, Stars were very good as far as payments were made, and obviously they paid out pretty quickly. Tilt continued to pay I know that a lot of US people out there, didn't get paid and still haven't. And there's only a certain amount of revenue that we've still got missing on Tilt. As far as people actually getting paid out is concerned, my advice, and I think most people already think like this anyway to affiliates, is that certainly to just write it off for now. And if you do get paid out, then it's just an added bonus. What are your chances of getting paid by AP and UB? Well, probably about 5%, and I'm sure there are people who are saying lower out there and shouting at their podcast now, or webcast. But and at Full Tilt, I don't know. I haven't given up on Full Tilt. I still think that that's salvageable. Maybe sort of 20% chance at the moment. It really depends in what form they come back online. Whatever happens, even if they do come back online, and as far as AP and UB are concerned as well, the payouts are going to be slow, because obviously there's probably going to be an initial massive rush, and I would have thought that whoever takes them over or however they relaunch is going to have some sort of progress in place about limited withdrawals, to try and encourage people to that it's back online, to start playing again, to help rebuild the community and stuff like that. But as far as we're concerned, we've written it off, and if we do get it back, then there's a small chance we'll get it back, at least at Tilt. But if we do, it's a bonus.
Okay. And recently, because of the changes that have been happening, have you, as a business, diversified out of poker or Rake Back? Have you looked at other verticals, or either within gaming or outside of gaming?
Well, we were always looking at other things prior to Black Friday anyway. I mean, we've dabbled our hand in casinos. We have a brand, MrCasinos.com, which has a number of properties underneath it, sort of Mr. Blackjack, Mr. Roulette, Mrs. Bingo, these sorts of things. Well, we've been trying that for a couple of years now, and I think there's MrSportsbook.com as well. Again, going back to what I said earlier, these markets, it's very tough to get into. We've spent a lot on SEO and to try and get those sites ranked higher, but it's tremendously hard, and we haven't been that successful with it, to be honest. So, what we're doing at the moment, as far as the sort of collapse of America, the US stuff is concerned, is focusing on our existing players, and we're still finding a lot of we're trying to make sure that we retain those US players. We can try and get them to come across to other rooms, but we appreciate at the same time that a lot of them don't have their bankrolls back yet. So it's it's a real sensitive situation. So we're trying to work with the existing rooms to come up with ways to get them funded somehow to help them restart their poker careers. And that's our priority at the moment, is to focus on what we've got, to make sure we knuckle down. Not that we've never paid full attention to our players anyway, but just given that extra push at the moment, just to make sure everyone's happy where they are and keep them going. And then possibly if things start to pick up again, we can look at other verticals and stuff like that. We do have a new site coming out in a couple of weeks' time. I'll keep it on the QT for now, but we've got a sort of straightforward poker site which doesn't involve Rake Back, coming out hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll let you know about that then.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks for that. How about countries in the next sort of 3 to 5 years? What do you believe will be the countries for online poker, and where affiliates should really be paying attention? And what are your plans in those specific countries?
I think that's always another tricky question, because I always wonder about this, and you hear people sort of 2 years ago saying Eastern Europe's the way forward and all this, and maybe it was and maybe it wasn't, and for gosh knows how long since I've been in this, everyone's been going Asia, and now it's South America. And I sort of sit there and wonder and think, well, if Asia really wanted to come online massively in this area, wouldn't they have done it already? Maybe poker just isn't their game, and also how many people in Asia have got expendable incomes that they can go out, get a computer, sit down and play poker. I'm not saying, I appreciate that in a country like China where there's, 1 billion people, that, even if you've got 1% of them who have got any money, that's still 10 million people, and therefore some of them are going to be playing poker. But it's not the majority. It's not necessarily their game. And so I question that. And South America, again, how many people in South America are wealthy enough to sit down and start playing poker. It's one of these things that we are looking at. We're looking more at South America than we are at Asia, to be honest with you. But I'm not overly convinced that either of them is necessarily going to be massive as far as poker is concerned. Now, I'm not saying that bingo won't be huge in South America, or casino, I'm sure, is already very big in both countries. I mean, everyone knows that the Chinese love a game of roulette or blackjack, so maybe that's where all the money is going to be made. But I think as far as the rest of the world is concerned, it's more a case of making sure that you've got a great product poker wise, and that the countries, every day in England another 58,000 people become 18, or in America another 124,000. I have no idea what the numbers are, I'm making them up, but people suddenly become 18, and therefore they can. It must be 1 million people a day in America, right? If they're 300 million people roughly, so suddenly become 21 and can gamble online. So or not gamble online, depending on who you ask. So I think those areas are still, there's still potential. We saw a massive boom over the last few years, which has dipped considerably in the last couple of years. But I think that can all pick up again, and we should be focusing on countries where people are still playing. Your Italy's, your France's, your Germany's, and those countries really.
Okay. And sort of in your opinion, who are the best operators for affiliates to promote? I mean, based on your own experience, who have you had the best relationships with?
Ooh, that could make me really popular or unpopular, couldn't it? Yeah, I would, off the top of my head, I would say that great operators at the moment are the likes of Party, Betfair, Poker Heaven. Out of the US, I'd say people like Carbon. And the reason is, and there's just to name a few. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of great people out there and good rooms. But I think the reason that those guys are so good is that they really actually seem to care about their affiliates. They've got, people in place. They've always treated affiliates well. They're fair. They have one rule for all, rather than one for some and one for another. And I've just never felt, in all the time I've ever worked with any of the rooms I've mentioned there. I mean, and Party and Betfair and Heaven, well, Party and Betfair, I think I've been working with Betfair. Gosh, Betfair, I'm at 7 years. Betfair was my first room on Rake the Rake. And the relationship there has always been, fantastic. And you get what you need. You email them. It's, they're friends. These people are friends. Whereas you find when a lot of the rooms that I deal with, or we deal with, it's more of just a real sort of straightforward business relationship, and you never really feel you're getting their attention or their trust. So there are, like I said, I've named four, but there's probably 10 or 12 rooms that we work with out there, and now I'm thinking of others in my mind. I'm not going to shout them out, otherwise I'm going to forget one and disappoint the rest. So I think those are the good brands at the moment.
So it's a must for them to bring you to the Playboy Mansion, I think, in LA to really kick the business off to the next level.
I tell you what, those days are gone, aren't they, buddy? Those used to be the days. Well, that's the funny thing, we used to get, these things aren't that important, but it's nice to be invited. That's the most important thing, is that you get, at the end of the year, you get a card. And, there was one big room that we've worked with, and, it's no secret, it's Tilt. And we must have made, God knows, us and, all the other affiliates have made hundreds of millions of dollars for these people. And, come Christmas, come any time of the year, you didn't get as much as a card. You didn't get as much as a Christmas card or anything. It was unbelievable. You had smaller rooms who you generate 50 grand a year for, 100 grand a year for, and they'd send you, an iPod or a knife set. I'm not really sure where that came from, but just anything, a bag, and it's just the little touches that are important. So, all you affiliate managers and poker rooms who actually end up listening to this, it's just the small touches. Send gifts, send invites.
Bring Karim to LA as well. That's the only thing I can.
Yeah, bring Karim to LA to see Warren.
Well, cool. Karim, tell us just a little bit about your business in terms of your structure. How many people have you got? Where are your offices? What do those people do? Just give us a little bit of insight, as much as you're willing to share, into your operation.
Well, we, with Black Friday and Tilt sort of capitulation, we unfortunately had to let a couple of people go. But we have 3 offices, one in Essex in London, in England, one in Stockholm, where we have four or now three web designers and one of our administration staff. In England, we've got, let's see, 10 people in the office here, which is made up of a marketing head, accountant, two accountants, three customer services team, and three web developers, soon to be two on Friday. And London, where we run a few of our other brands, the casino brands, other brands like rakeback.co.uk and pokerrakeback.com. We are down to two there now. So I think, what are we, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, about 17 people at the moment. We did reach a high of about 21, but like I said, we've had to let a couple of people go, unfortunately. So that's the split on personnel. What was the other question? Was there something else, Warren?
No, just asking where your locations are and what the staff do, but I think you've answered that pretty well, so thanks for that. So I guess this is a loaded question, but you're one of the most successful affiliates in the iGaming industry that have ever even entered the space. What is your secret recipe to success?
I've always surrounded myself with good people, for starters. I think no man is an island, and the team I have working for me are terrific, and I trust them all, and they get their heads down and do the work when it needs to be done. Personally, this is probably my third attempt at wanting to do my own thing. I was around when the .com boom was going off, and we tried to launch a venture then that didn't work, and tried something else since as well. And this is the one that's worked, and it's really about, I know everyone will say, yeah, we know that, but it really is about hard work and dedication. It's about putting in 17-hour days, for 2 years, every year, day after day. Answering the emails that even are coming in at 2 a.m, and just working through and doing your best and putting everything into it, really. Other than that, we did found a niche, we developed it, and we've stuck at it, and we've never sort of rested on our laurels, really. We've always tried to just keep going, make it bigger and better, and that's pretty much it. It's work hard and surround yourself with good people.
Okay. And I guess, what advice could you offer someone who's considering becoming an iGaming affiliate in today's market?
I think, as far as that, well, if you talked specifically about Rake Back, to start off with, I think you need to piggyback off one of the bigger affiliates. We, for instance, offer a white label solution that I'll plug it now, www.rakebackpartners.com. And by doing that, an affiliate coming into the market today can easily launch their own Rakeback site, literally within 2 minutes. They can buy a domain and they can set up a site. And the reason I suggest that, and doing through us or through even there's a couple of other guys out there who have similar programs. But it's because it's ultra competitive these days, and to be able to compete, we give away $300,000-$400,000 a month in extra stuff on top of the Rake Back. So just if a player is going to come and look at our site and look at a new affiliate site, and we're both offering 30% at Poker Heaven, but they see that we're offering a free roll, free training, and a race, then it's more of a case of they're going to sign up with us, really. But if you can be a small affiliate and you can piggyback off an affiliate like us, then you can offer all those promotions to your own guys, and then it's down to you on how you market and go out and find the players. From a Rake Back point of view, it's that. But as far as being, as an affiliate coming into the gaming market in general, again, it's massively tricky. If we hadn't done Rake Back, we would not have been remotely as successful as we are, or at least as we became. Because if I just become a normal affiliate and try to compete with the likes of, back in the day, Poker Listings and Poker News, we simply wouldn't have been able to achieve those levels, and we probably would be 1/6, 1/7, maybe 1/10, 20th the size that we've become. So it is ultra difficult. You need to find a niche, I guess. Look for a new niche in the market. Look for a new way to attract players. And I really think that's the best way to do it. If you can find some way of getting through to masses of players, then you could begin a business.
Great. And once again, that's rakebackpartners.com, the site where affiliates, I guess, can sort of begin that leveraging process. So thanks for that. I'm sure people would be interested in that. So let's wrap up. I just want to thank you for your time and all of the insight you've given. I know you've shared a lot, so we really appreciate that. If anyone would like to get in touch with Karim, please send an email to interviews@casinoaffiliateprograms.com, and we'll be happy to put you in touch. Other than that, please stay tuned for future interviews with iGaming industry leaders, and thanks for watching. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.